gotta stay woke. Listen up. To DR.Michelle, Williams, and Walter Dunn show. Stay woke.
Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay. Welcome to our next episode of Stay Woke with Dr. Michelle Williams, human rights activist and advocate, and our in-house criminal social justice advocate and motivational speaker, Mr. Walter Dunn III. I thank you all so much for tuning in to today's show. We're going to give Walter the microphone real fast because I have a flow that I'm trying to switch things up this morning, and I want to see how things just try to, I don't like throwing things in on my brother like this, but walk the mic yours.
Right. Well, first, I want to say good morning to the Tampa Bay community and everybody around the world that's listening in. We really appreciate all the response that we get during the week and the comments that you guys drop on our social media and reaching out via text. We appreciate all the love and support that you guys give us. I do want to give a couple of shout-outs before we get the show started. First, I want to thank the University of South Florida for giving me an opportunity to speak at their criminology department. Got a chance to meet the dean of criminology. As you guys know, they currently shoot a series called Lessons of Murder through Hulu with Dr. Fox over there at USF. So it's just a good opportunity to be in their department, talking about law, sharing my story, and intertwining it with how people can educate themselves. So want to give them a shout out. Want to give Benedict College a shout out. I want to also give Candy Lowe a shout out. If you guys haven't heard, she's having the Black Business Tour going on where you can get on the bus. You need to reach out to Candy Lowe so that way you can buy your tickets and be a part of that type of movement. And we're ready to get the show started. We wait all week to get to you. We got some good information. We want to make sure everybody's involved. We want to bring the community together. Also, you could give us a call at 813-444-9588. If you want to weigh in on the conversation, please give us a call.
Well, right now, Walter, one of the hottest topics happening right now is Nikki Freed got arrested by Ron DeSantis. Nikki Freed got arrested for a peaceful protest after 6 p.m. in Tallahassee, Florida. Apparently, this is what happened, Walt. The Florida Democratic Party chair, Nikki Freed, senator, and among 11 arrested at the abortion protest by Governor Ron DeSantis, alleging that no protests are to happen in Tallahassee after 6 p.m.
I read that too, and I want to let Nikki Freed and all of her people in her camp know if you need some legal consultation, give me a call. Reach out on social media. I wrote the book on how to navigate through the criminal justice system for a first-time person who's been arrested. So, Nikki, I got you. You just give me a call. Have your people reach out. You probably got bail by now. You ain't no danger to the community for no flight risk. So she can reach out, and I'll take care of you, Nikki.
But you know what this story says? If Nikki Freed, a pretty white girl, can get arrested for a peaceful protest, where is America headed? Where is America headed right now?
You better not have been black or Latino after 6 p.m. up there.
I'm trying to told you. I ain't trying to tell you. I'm trying to told you. So guess what, Walt? Going further into our topics today, we have Minnesota GOP operative found guilty of underage sex trafficking charges. A federal jury in Minnesota has found Anton Lazaro, a former Republican Party donor and political strategist, guilty on sex trafficking charges involving a pair of teenagers. Prosecutors called the case against Lazaro the face of modern sex the face of modern day sex trafficking after his conviction on conspiring to recruit and pay a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old girl for sex. Lazaro, who's 32, once cut a high-profile figure as a Minnesota GOP political operative and associate of the then state party chairwoman, Jennifer Caron, was also found guilty on all counts.
It's very difficult to hear about young children, because you're talking 15, 16 years old. They're still young children to be propositioned, to go out there and prostitute, or sexual advances that occur. It's just very difficult to hear. Kobe Valentine, who is a doctor at the University of South Florida who teaches in the criminology department, she recently, maybe a year or so, got a grant to run the human trafficking program at USF, where they specialize in helping children and young adults who have been in human trafficking or sex trafficking come back and get their life back in order. So, to hear that anybody is targeting children, they need to get what they deserve. and I can tell y'all from lived experience, when anybody who go to prison for sexual crimes, human trafficking, it's the worst for them. So, if the justice system slaps him on the wrist and he doesn't get that much time, but he goes in, the people in there will make sure that he gets a hard time. And I advocate against anybody who wants to take advantage of children. So if you got a child that's getting taken advantage of, I stand against it.
Walt, you know what we can't get past? I'm gonna turn this around because we have live YouTube cameras. We have our live YouTube cameras. We not gonna get past this one right here today. We're not gonna get past this one right here. We're not gonna get past former president 45 was arrested. No handcuffs, no shackles.
You better not put the cuffs on me.
No mug shot.
You better not put the cuffs on me.
They act like Beyonce was in New York, had the streets. I mean, like literally the news, Walt, sat there for 3 hours just watching the plane that was going to fly him from Florida
to Mar-a-Lago. Come on, man.
On the runway, just watching the plane for 3 hours while he sits behind closed doors and negotiate. Now, we already know this is a horse and pony show, but I didn't know it was going to be dolled up this much.
Right. Well, all I can say is, he's the president or was a former president. So to not get handcuffed, not get photographed, I thought that the justice system was for everybody, and if you commit a crime or there's an alleged committed crime, they booked me. They took me. I told them people I didn't do this. They put me in interrogation. I told them I didn't do this. They still took me down there and handcuffed me and booked me. But he said the same thing. And, we going to let you get on the plane, Mr. President. Go ahead and fly down there to that golf course, hang out. We'll send some people there. But I want to let you know, Trump, just same thing I said with Nikki Free. First time offender, you've been arrested for the first time in your life. You can buy the book on how to navigate through the criminal justice system. You can have your people in your camp reach out to me. I will definitely help you out on how to get through this. You probably know some better people than I do, but I could walk you through it for the first time.
Man, I'm not going to.
I just want to be honest with you. I want to be honest. You can reach out to me, Trump. Fly me out there to Mar-a-Lago. I'll come out there and sip tea and learn to golf with you, and we'll talk about how I can make some more money.
Oh my goodness! Look. These is pretty lashes. Don't make me laugh these lashes off this morning.
Trump,
Walt.
you can help me make that book a bestseller. You can come
New
to the
York
website.
Bestseller, that's right.
New York bestseller.
Well, let me tell you something. Listen, guys, I have to put out this for my brother. Go to www.walterdunn.com and get the book on how to navigate through the criminal justice system. I ain't trying to tell you, I'm trying to told you. I read that book in one night. When I tell you it looked like my grandmama and my great grandmama Bible that I sleep with in my bed, it is highlighted, written in, underlined, and I've been keep meaning to bring the book with me. So, maybe we just do that at the end of the month. Why don't we just talk about the book?
Well, you know what?
Talk about the book.
Just a quick segment, and not to get off topic, but next week, guys, just to give you a little spoiler alert,
Ooh.
We'll actually have a retired judge from the 6th Judicial Circuit.
Yes. From
Pinellas and Pasco County. She will actually be on the show next week. She's
She's
already confirmed. So I will definitely bring the book, and it's going to be nice to talk about law with her. But when we see like President Trump getting arrested, when we see Nikki Freed getting arrested, what are we really doing in society? Are we doing it because we really going to see a conviction, or are we doing it for the smoke and mirror game?
Right.
So, at any time, somebody's arrested, the impact that it has from a trauma standpoint with his family, his children, her family, her children, it affects all people, for people to play games with you. I don't stand for the justice system play games, because they played games with me and my mama. They took us through a dark road and made me fight like hell to get free. And now that I'm home, I go around speaking at universities and places to educate the children on how not to get caught up in situations, but also how if they have a loved one trapped in the system, that they can buy the book and, help themselves get free as well. So,
Walt, let me tell you something. A lot of people don't understand that when you first were arrested and how our families became a unit of one, your mother, family members reached out, and I'm standing in front of that courthouse protesting in my all Black Panther suit, my steel toe boots, and we out there, we just running it.
It's true.
We running it. And to see the way your mother, I just didn't come in at a tail end of this incarceration sentence that was handed down to you. I was there on the phone with your mother through the tearful conversations in the middle of the night, she calling, and that made me feel so honored just to have family members, because I just didn't talk to your mom. It was your sister, it was your aunties, it was some of your cousins. I remember I was all the way up in where was I at? In Michigan. I was all the way up in Michigan, and I had my radio program through Blog Talk radio program at the time, and I was interviewing you while you were incarcerated on my radio program. So I'm just like, so we, so
It came a long way.
look, I'm trying to told you.
It came a long way.
Y'all better stay woke. Let me tell you something. This relationship between me and this handsome young man sitting next to me, it go back 14 years now.
14. A long
14 years now. So this ain't something that just popped out of the blue, and this ain't something that just magically happened overnight, or we met coincidentally at an event or anything like that. This is 14 years strong. Conversations on the phone. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to break no rule, but three-way conversations every day.
Can't go back and say that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I can say this though. I can say this. The relationship is getting better.
Yes.
When you have a long-term relationship with people that you care for, and it continues to get better, is God, man. Because he keeps opening doors for us. He keeps putting things in our path that make us successful. And our goal as a team is to get, completely involved with the community, but bring real change. This is the reason why we're doing radio. We want to bring real conversation, real people on the show where we can address real issues and go for the change. So many people have conversation, and that's where it stays. Or they have an event and they just put the information that we want to hear out there, but they don't do anything with the information. It's just a pat on the back. So for us, we want to do something different. We want to speak about it, and then we want to hold people accountable on how it's going to get changed or why it hasn't get changed. For example, we had the show a couple weeks ago about the school teacher victimizing children. We got right on it. We emailed Addison Davis, the superintendent, never got a response from him. We're going to do our part. If the community says, hey, this is what y'all need to speak about, we're going to do our part to try to hold people accountable. And if we got to go, right, or whatever, protest or whatever we have to do, we're going to do it.
Obviously, this is something that's growing around the country right now, where peaceful protests are happening. I just watched up in I can't remember where it was just moments ago. When we come back off our first break, I'm going to have it for us to play on the air. But there are there's a 27-year-old and a 28-year-old House of Representative that has just been expelled from their seat for protesting against gun violence. And even one of the children was a grandchild of one of the House of Representatives. And I'm trying to, and he's sitting on the floor like he's pleading with this white Republican, saying, "Why are you doing this?" And one of your grandchildren is the one that got shot.
And I want to say this too, just so y'all know, because I'm a statistical man, so I want to make sure that y'all always know the number one killer of children is not disease, it's not car accidents, it's not fluke accidents where they just got it's guns. The number one cause of death for children is guns. This is why we're so hard on gun violence and going against open carry laws. And DeSantis passed the bill and the guy shot himself hours later at a school with a gun on him. He shot himself. That was the first shooting that occurred after DeSantis signed the bill. Was the guy was at school on a college campus and shot himself in the leg, self-inflicted wound, and got hurt. You guys can Google it. So the number one killer against children is guns. So if you don't think that, and I understand everybody wants to bear arms and protect themselves. I understand that. Trust me. Back in the day, my grandma used to pull a gun and fire it and shoot it in the ceiling and scare all people. So we understand that. But, to give guns a more active role in the streets, we got to really be careful of what we're doing.
Well, going back to the arrest of former President Donald Trump, back in the 30 years ago, when the Central Park young brothers, the Central Park Five, were arrested, President Trump took the tenacity to lead the charge of calling for basically their heads on a platter and the death penalty. He was actually trying to bring and was advocating that the death penalty be brought to New York. And as you say, I want to save that topic for after we come back off our first commercial break that's come up here shortly.
I want to save that because I want to go to the YouTube clip that I watched this morning and play Dr. Yusuf. And when I saw this, I immediately called him, and the first thing he said is, he said, "What's up, South Lady?" He calls me the South Lady. He said, "What's up?" Because he says my accent is so heavy. And I said, "Doc, I just watched your interview that was on MSNBC, and I said, we got a radio program called Stay Woke down in Tampa, Florida." He says, "When you want me to be on the show?" I
Can't get here quick enough.
So he was just like, "I'll do the rest. I'm going to reach out to Corey. I'm going to reach out to the rest of the team." So, guys, we have something very, very special that's in the making for the Stay Woke program to bring on board the Central Park Five, the 5 beautiful black men who were exonerated of all charges of being accused of raping a white woman. That's our cue, guys. We're going to our first commercial break, and we'll be right back.
You gotta stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke.
Playing your favorite old school.
You have the password for the Wi-Fi? I got it. Let me try to find the article on this.
You got the clip?
Huh? Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna give you the name so you can play it. See, I have Wi-Fi on this iPad, but not the.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah.
What's the name of the clip?
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to do. I was trying to go back to my history.
In Touch Radio.
Hey Tampa Bay, let's turn up. Are you ready to party with a purpose? Join us for the all-white affair. Hey there, this is Anjali, Queen Bee from 95.7 The Beat.
And TV host Marlo. Join us at American Social on Sunday, April 23rd at 5 p.m. Tickets available now on Eventbrite by searching White Party by the Water.
They're going fast, so don't wait. Proceeds benefit the best program. Tell your friends, get your sexiest white outfit on, and we'll see you there.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecues? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here for you.
Corey Gasbridge, Corey Gasbridge. In accident on the two, Corey Gasbridge. Football, trying to take it to school, Corey Gasbridge. Corey Gasbridge, Corey Gasbridge. 813-248-6300. 813-248-6300. Corey Gasbridge, Corey Gasbridge. In accident on the two, Corey Gasbridge.
Get an accident, you don't have to do. Call Ricky Ashley, a legal and medical referral service anywhere in the state of Florida. Dial 813-248-6300. Call Ricky Ashley.
When it comes to reality radio, everyone is a star.
I know that's right.
On your smooth soul and R&B station. On the World Wide Web.
Access granted.
In Touch Radio.
Welcome back, Tampa Bay. It's a Stay Woke show with Dr. Michelle Williams and myself, Walter Dunn. We want to make sure that you have the phone number, so if you want to call in and wait on the conversation, please give us a call. We're looking for calls. We're looking to get the community involved. Our telephone number here at the station is 813-444-9588. We definitely want to hear from you, so if you have opportunity, give us a call. Today, we want to continue to talk about Ron DeSantis and the decisions that he is making. But before we get into that, I believe we're going to play a clip if we got it set up right, we're gonna be able to play a clip and then be able to address the clip.
Okay, we're going to give B a few more minutes, but while we doing that, Walt, I want to give a special shout out this morning to my grandchildren who are watching.
Okay.
My oldest grandson called me. He was just like, Grandma, how we watch you and Mr. Walter on the show? I said, y'all got to go to YouTube. So I sent my daughter the link, and they are watching. So a shout out to the family this morning. That's where the support comes in.
Sure.
That's where the family support comes in. Want to give a shout out to everyone on Facebook. I see you, Maya. I see you, Sequoia. I see you, Katie. I see you, Auntie Alicia. We see you. Thank you so much for supporting us every weekend on the Stay Woke program. You guys can be doing anything else that you want to do, but you guys are here supporting us, and we thank you all so much. You just don't understand how much this means to us that we have the community support. Just like Walt said, the calling number for the show is area code 813-444-9588. If there's something that you want to talk about, something that you need us to make us aware of, or something that you want us to know, please, by all means, call into the show. But right now, we're ready, and the clip has been set up for us. We're going to be listening to one of the Central Park 5 exonerated, incarcerated Dr. Yusuf Salom on his take on former President Trump being arrested. And here we go.
Times like this, here we are 34 years later, almost 34 years later when we think about it. This ad that was ran in New York City's newspapers really was calling for our deaths. And I think that the intimidation tactics that we've heard about as it relates to Donald Trump sending out signals to Alvin Bragg or to people to do something to Alvin Bragg is really tragic, because the criminal justice system is there in order to ensure that justice is for all and not for some. But the way that it's wielded is that we've never received justice. And I'm talking about we as a people. In fact, I call it the criminal system of injustice, because it is alive and sick. It's operating exactly as it was designed in the minds of the people that created it. But at the same time, maybe, perhaps, as our good Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, the arc of the moral universe, we are here witnessing history, I think, and this is a very, very powerful time. But at the same time, I think if we get the opportunity to witness true justice, perhaps Yusuf will start calling it the criminal justice system all over again.
Well, and the thing that,
I would definitely want to say this. I definitely, for the Central Park people, if you haven't seen it, there is a documentary on Netflix by Central Park 5. It was shot by Ava DuVernay, which is an awesome producer. Ava, if you ever listen to the show, please reach out to me so I can please try to get me a documentary, mine finished. But she articulated the story of the Central Park 5 about these 5 children who were in the park at the time, and a white lady alleged them of raping her, and all 5 got convicted with no evidence. See, that's the missing piece.
No DNA, no sweat, no socks, no fingerprints, no scratches, no hair follicles, no nothing. Just a white lady said, "Yep, they did it. They did it."
And when he says that the justice system was not designed, it was designed to do exactly what it is, to keep a class of people down. And I understand that wholeheartedly, because I lost trial with no evidence, nothing that matched me, on the same thing that they lost trial on, because they went to trial and stood for their innocence just like I did.
Yes.
And it was a he said, she said case it came down to, and they got convicted, I got convicted. And the thing is when people say you did something, there's got to be some type of evidence, physical evidence that links you to the crime. And it's amazing how people in society can lose trial with no physical evidence, and you send them off to prison, and then you have to fight like I did for many years to get your sentence overturned, and then come back and be free, just like they did. They sat in prison, beaten, tortured. Up north, prison is a lot tougher than it is here in Florida, and then they were able to gain their freedom back years later. So when I say I'm a champion who fights against this, I want to be one of the first in our state formerly incarcerated people who sits on these some type of political seat, because you need somebody like me who's articulate, who's smart, who understands the law, who can teach the law, to even the playing field for people. So people like them, people like me, and other people who are currently in the system don't have to go through that. And somewhere down the line, we have to figure out a way to rewrite the laws, because when the laws were written, and I just want to make this because there's a lot of people hitting on Facebook right now. When the laws were written, people like me, people like my sister, the Hispanics, the African Americans, the Taiwanese, and every other nationality out there was not at that table when the laws were written.
That's right. We certainly were.
So who you think the laws were designed for? You better stay woke. You better stay woke. Hello, somebody.
and right now we got a Florida governor that's trying to make sure that we don't wake up, and that's what's happening all across America. You know, people are taking lead behind the Florida governor Ron DeSantis. The people in Florida are leading the charge of the racism that has come back. Well, it has never died, but now, you know, they're saying, wait a minute, we've allowed them to wake up too much. We you know, the sleeping giant has now awakened. Now, you know, the same Bible that we told them to read, now they've went and deciphered through the Bible to figure out that they are actually the real Jews. You know what I'm saying, on this planet. Now they're mad, but that's okay, because, you know, me and Walter, we got this. We got this. Because we woke, and we telling y'all to stay woke. And this is what's going to lead me right into my next comment before we play this next clip. Florida bill would allow supporters of the Confederate monuments
to sue over the removal of said statues. In a 6-2 party line vote, the Republican-controlled Community Affairs Committee on Wednesday backed the bill SB 1096, which would give standing to people to file lawsuits if they believe that they have lost history or the ability to teach about the past because of monuments being removed or relocated because the structures were not protected from damage. Now, let me just say this. Now, they're saying that white people, these color people, not these color people, but these color people, not these color people. Because, see, these color people, you know, I gotta dramatize, like the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said. I've come here to this radio program today to dramatize the injustices that have been happening around America against the black race, because
white people have said, no, you will not teach about black history. You will not tell that the inventors of the red light was by a black man. You will not say that the inventor of the cell phone was by a black man. You will not say that the water gun was the inventor of a white. You will not say that the first woman who calculated the astronauts to go into space on her own hand, she was a human. You will not tell black people that they are kings, queens, and princes and princesses and empresses, emperors. You will not say you are woke. You're going to stay asleep. You're going to stay and enslave people, and that's exactly what we mean. And anybody that gets in the Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' way about teaching black history, this man is trying to have them arrested. But according to this that just happened, I'm not making this up, go to Creative Loafing, because when Walter and I give you reports and we give you taglines, the other reports came from newsbreak.com. This one is coming from Creative Loafing right here in our home base, Tampa, Florida. And that's one thing that I like about Creative Loafing, because they're going to call a spade a spade. And this right here, they called out Governor Ron DeSantis and said, how dare you take black history from being taught in the schools, but now you're telling white people they have a right to sue if their history is not being taught about.
Well, you know, and a better question is, you know, I'm just keeping it real. You know, that's what I do. Who wants to continue to have a monument in their front yard or in their city area that represents a tumultuous time in society?
Dear white people, you lost the Civil War, period.
I'm just saying, like, can we, like, I'm for real, like, you got children, like, we way past that area. You know, I understand about moving forward in a peaceful way, but you still want to hang out a 16-foot statue in your front lawn of Colonel Smith and Western for shooting people and, you know, hanging people and all type of, I mean, can we please, I mean, seriously, I mean, he may be related to you.
Yeah.
But you have to understand the magnitude of having that statue in your front yard. Like, if you ride down 75, you see a big Confederate flag that they've been fighting over for years to get down. Why still holding on?
Since 2008, you can go Google it. I'm there.
I mean, why? I mean, are you trying to start race wars? Because you know what, my MO is to get all classes of people moving forward, positive, peaceful, amicably, where people can get along with each other and have peace. You know, if we got to still start kicking up tension between us, nobody wins.
I'm going to just say this, and I'm going to say this from my whole chest. Dear white people, dear white America, we are not our ancestors. You're going to get some pushback. And that's real talk right now. We're not dealing with, so I'm saying this. Governor Ron DeSantis has signed into law, which will go into effect July 1st of 2023, that you no longer need a permit to carry a concealed weapon. Now, you still have to follow the law as far as carrying the weapon inside your car. You can't have it on your person. You still have to conceal it inside your car. But you can't have both. If you want the marijuana card, you can't have a gun. That's the law. True. Now, see, this is just something state. And this is what I think people are misconstruing, Walter, that this is just a state law. This is not federal. Federal trumps state.
Right.
And so that's where a lot of people are going to run into trouble. But I am a huge advocate. I've been advocating for this since 2008. I am all for sensible gun laws because guns don't kill people. Stupid people with guns kill people, as Chris Tucker said in Money Talks. Money Talks. Dirty cash, I go to dirty cash, I want you. Okay, so that's enough of that. But this is where we are. So if Governor Ron DeSantis is telling all white America in the state of Florida to get armed, I'm telling all black Americans who are legal and who can carry a gun, go buy you a gun. Go over to the range, learn how to shoot it. You know, because we can ready to have, you know, he does not understand what he has done, Walter. Because guess what? Somebody in your family can be in Publix. Somebody in my family can be in Publix. And they're black. They look like us. And all a person who is white can say, oh, I seen a gun. And then they pull their gun and they shoot.
Let me, you know, I want to educate everybody. Let me tell you that the increase in guns is going to have a lot more shootings in our community. Mm-hmm. Something that is going to trouble law enforcement. They're going to have to figure out ways to do buyback guns or get guns out the street. So you got a governor that's saying, it's okay, let's carry all the guns in the world. But you guys know, just like I know, you click on the news and you see the county sheriff's department, they're trying to buy guns back. They're trying to clean up the streets. So it's like a give and take. So that's going to be the biggest nightmare on law enforcement. But let me tell you from a legal standpoint, the stand your ground law is one of the most difficult laws to get acquitted from when firing a firearm. There's plenty of people that's sitting in Florida State Prison right now. There's names that come to my mind that were getting jumped at a nightclub at night, pulled their firearm in protection, and maybe shot somebody or shot in the air and got the 10-20 life statute, and now they're in prison, did nothing wrong, have not harmed anybody, but they had a gun, they fired it in the air, and they got convicted of the 10-20 statute. Or they lost trial on the stand your ground because they were in fear that they were going to get hurt. They pulled their firearm and they shot somebody, and it didn't go their way. And now they're in prison because they shot somebody, and they're doing 20 years right now and lost trial on the defense of stand your ground. So understand this, America. If you're going to carry more firearms and you pull that firearm, you shoot it, 10-20 life statute, you automatically apply to that statute, which is 775 with the Florida statute code. If you hit somebody, you're looking at 25 years to life. But more importantly, if you use the stand your ground defense, it is I don't want to say a 50-50 chance, it's probably a 40-60 chance that you get acquitted and go home peacefully to your family. So these are the odds stacked against you. And we have to ask ourselves a real question. Is putting more guns in the street trying to increase the violence in Florida? You already know they call it the gunshine state.
Well, again, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, he just will not stop with his tactics. So Florida Governor Ron DeSantis put out a national call that he needed more police officers in the state of Florida. And 530 new police officers have just recently been recruited, according to House Bill 3, was signed into law. And this article came from the Tampa Bay Times.
Right. So if you recruiting 530 plus officers, you understand that crime is about to go up.
Yeah.
Let's call it for what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to say, Mr. DeSantis, I'm available for consulting. I know the law. If you need somebody that's gonna have lived experience, somebody who can tell you, how it is to battle back out of the justice system, please reach out to me. Matter of fact, you call into the show. Let's give them the number 813-444-9588. You might want to call. You might be watching us on intouchnews.com. You might want to reach out to us and weigh in. But I'm available. You can reach out to me.
Walt definitely is going to get the message out. Guys, we can ready to take another brief commercial break, and we'll be right back. Hey, everybody over on Facebook land. Look at you guys. Hey, Consuela. Hey, Cousin Ronnie. Hey, Delia. Hey, Brandy, all the way up from Louisiana in the house. Hey. So y'all can't, if y'all was listening on YouTube, y'all can hear what we hear in our headphones. What's up, Miss Geneva, all the way down in Orlando, Florida? What's up, Mika, all the way up in New York? What's up, Cousin V, right here in Tampa, Florida? Hey, Miss Turnball, what's going on with it?
Hey, let me.
Hey,
I need to reach out to some of y'all.
Hey.
What's going on over there?
Kathy, what's going on, beautiful? Yes, honey, you all.
That if you're an attorney, that you get a quote for errors and omissions insurance from Sam Cohen at Attorneys First. He's had over 20 years of experience, and he knows how to work with attorneys. Call him at 727-799-4321.
Nestled in the heart of West Tampa, the Maduro Marauder Cigar Lounge offers a wide variety of premium cigars from Esteli, Nicaragua. In addition, the lounge offers a relaxed environment for you to come back, lay, chill, and relax and smoke a great cigar. Visit us at our brick and mortar location, 1944 West Main Street, Tampa, as well as online, www.maduromarauders.com.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
Stay woke. We're back. Once again, we want to provide you with the phone number, 813-444-9588. If you want to call and weigh in, you definitely can. I want to make sure that I say this too, because I didn't get a chance to say this on the air before we took our commercial break. I know we talk about the gun violence and we talk about the bills and the laws, and I gave you about the 1020 life statute and the stand your ground, but I never want to lose sight of all the families who stand strong for their loved ones that are incarcerated. Mm-hmm. I know how hard that fight is for y'all. I know how hard it is for you to drive up there every other Saturday or once a month and stand in that visitation line and have to be searched like an animal to get inside just to see your loved one, and you only get a couple hours with him and check on their mental health and their physical well-being. But for all the people who have a loved one that's incarcerated, I want to say my heart goes out to you. I stand by you. I advocate for you. And if there's anything that I could ever do as far as giving you information or helping you understand where you stand at with the law, or anything that I could do to support you, just know I'm here for you. I love everybody who stands by their loved one who's incarcerated, because it's also that Hurricane Carter said, hatred sent me to prison, but love got me out.
That's right.
So for everybody who has a loved one, I say happy Easter to all the families that are watching our program today, but it's especially the people who are incarcerated. Keep your head up. Know that people love you out here, and people will continue to advocate for you to come home.
That's right. We want to say, our love is with you, our support is with you, and Walter and I, we talk quite frequently off the air, and we're hopeful and tentatively, we're gonna have in the making and in the works. Not showing my right hand to my left hand on or off air, but we have some things in the work where we're going to be able to reach out more to the inmates in prisons through a program that, you know, I'm designing and putting together. And this is what's leading into our last big topic for the show. Walt, I think that you're really, really going to appreciate this. And, you know, but look, this is what's funny about this, because we've been talking about this on the air for over a month. And then now all of a sudden, see, I'm real spiritual, and I see things in the spirit realm. All of a sudden, Florida prisoners seeking college educations get second chance out of Southwest 8th Street past the Mickey Casino. If y'all ain't never been down to Mickey, Florida, y'all need to go down there. That's right outside the Everglades. Sits outside the Everglades Correctional Institution, the first of what are now the 4 incentive prisons in the state of Florida Department of Correction System. The article further reads that it is an opportunity that's growing for others in prison with expansion of the federal Second Chance Pell Grant program, covering the cost of eligible inmates seeking college degrees at this locations from the Miami-Dade College. And this was supplied to me by the Channel 6 News down in Miami-Dade County.
So basically what's taking place is there's a community college in Miami that has taken advantage of a federal grant by the government to help further people's education while they're incarcerated. There are a lot of schools that are integrating into the prison system. You know, I went to Benedict College in South Carolina. Their school is progressively moving into the prison system, where they are reaching out and giving people an opportunity to further their education even while they're incarcerated. I want to say this, you know, Florida, there are a lot of major universities that have not integrated into the prison system. Right. All people should be educated. If we educate the people, they're less likely to commit crime, fall back into recidivism. You know, the conversation that I had at Benedict College was so moving to me. It had, you know, they asked me, why aren't you doing prison consulting? Why aren't you working with universities and telling them exactly what they need to set up an efficient classroom inside the prison so inmates can further their education? And when I got hit with that question, I said, you're right. Who knows the business better than I do? I could teach them how to set up a classroom, whether they want to do it online from the tablet or they want to do classes in person. Why aren't I taking advantage of this? Because I'm knowledgeable. So, you know, it has even moved me to start reaching out to some of the universities, University of South Florida, a lot of these schools that I've spoken at, and I've reached back to them and said that I can help integrate your university into the prison system, whether it's in Florida or it's in another state, because I understand how it gets done. Not only from a structural standpoint with how inmates need to be able to be moved around the prison, housed, set up so they can, you know, comfortably go to school and not have to worry about the danger and the violence of prison, and how they can further their education. It's just a beautiful thing. I'm so grateful that the government has provided this second Pell Grant so people can further their education while they're incarcerated, because guess what? Real talk, there's only a certain amount of things they can do in prison that's legit.
Well, Walt, you know, I want to say this, that a lot of people, even who are not incarcerated, who have come up against the Pell Grant system, where a felon can't even apply and get federal aid money from the government because they're a felon.
And that's the beautiful thing about the second Pell Grant, Second Chance Pell Grant. It not only does it for people who's currently incarcerated, but it also affects the population of people who, you know, you might have been a felon 20 years ago and could never go back to school because you needed that extra funding. That grant specializes for all people, wherever you're at in the process of being a felon. So you could be incarcerated, you could be formally released and still be a felon. That grant will help you go to school and be a regular student and get the same funding as anybody else. So if you are a convicted felon and you are removed from the system, you can apply for the grant and go back to school and further your education.
Well, Walt, let me ask you something, you know, because I think this is a dialogue that I want to keep the momentum going when it comes to this particular topic, because even though this is the right thing to do, the right measures are being taken in place, but we know as advocates and activists that we have to help those who are behind the scenes and those who are writing out this program to present to the Florida Department of Correction, that we have to have enough teeth on, you know what I'm saying, on the bone for the meat to be given to, you know what I'm saying, we you know, we got to call it like it is, because at the bottom line, Walt, because according to Channel 6 News, with a brief email exchange, I didn't even get to bed till 6:38 this morning, you know, because I'm up, you know, man, emailing reporters, researching this further, because it is something that, you know, I want us to keep looking into. But at the bottom line, it's going to boil down to, because part of this program, you know, it says that if these inmates qualify, we need to release them. So there's people behind the scenes that says, let's release them so they can go to college for the nonviolent offenders. You have thousands, tens of thousands of nonviolent offenders sitting in the Florida Department of Corrections right now. And we got to call it for what it is. The state of Florida is getting almost $4 billion.
You got
$4 billion. You can, at $4 billion with the 33 million people that's in the state of Florida, you can give us all $1.27 million. I've already calculated it.
You got people sitting in prison right now for child support.
Yes.
Seriously? Come on, man.
Yes.
Seriously. Now, the mama cannot have money and need child support assistance and go get government assistance where she get the stamps and the housing because she can't afford to take care of the child. But when the daddy can't afford to take care of the child, they put him in prison. He get pulled over. If he get pulled over and he needs to pay all child support, he's going to jail. He might go to. There's people sitting in the Florida Department of Corrections right now for unpaid child support.
That's right. That is so true, because there's a special code that a lot of people don't even realize, that when you are pulled over by a city cop or a sheriff's office throughout the state of Florida, there is a special code with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement that says if you owe child support, it's discretionary whether or not the officer wants to arrest you. And I hear a lot of...
You going. Hillsborough County, you going. You better call somebody to get this car.
You better call Ashell. You better call Ashell. You better call Ashell. That's 813-857-8170. You know, if you can't make bail, you better call Ashell.
You better call.
If you can't make bail, you better call. If you find yourself in jail, you better call Ashell. But this is what I'm talking about, Walt. It's all going to boil down to the warm bodies in these prisons, and for them to keep getting the federal aid that they need to house these prisons. And I find it funny how, you know, all the governors, it's like the increase is getting worse every year in the state of Florida, but yet they refuse to give more for housing, for moderate income housing. They're saying right now, did you all know that the U.S. HUD Department of the United States says that low income housing starts at $255,000? What person you know working at a Winn-Dixie, a Walmart, a 7-Eleven, Wawa's on a $15 an hour can even afford that? I went to... Now I'm a huge advocate of Family Dollar. I promise you I am. Okay, because the laundry detergent is just on point there. But when I go into the Family Dollar, and I have literally just spent
$70,
Walter, $71.92, because guess what? I got to have dye and fragrance free. My grandson's got to have Drift because I don't want the fragrance in it. You know, my son, he only like Tide. I got to have, so everybody got their own.
I'm like that too. I don't bathe with the body wash. I got to have a bar soap. You know, I'm still old fashioned. I need the rag and the bar soap. I ain't moved on to the scrub thing. Come on, man. I'm just keeping it real with you.
Walter, let me tell you something. But once you test the loofah,
I can't.
Once you test, no.
I haven't moved on.
Well, once you look, I go to my daughter's house.
I need the bar soap. I need to get that bar soap on me.
Well, I be screaming when I go to the bathroom at my daughter's house, and I'm just like, what is this? Everybody, the whole family, got their loofah scrubs and their loofah wash. I'm telling, and my grandsons, I'm just like, here go the washcloth. Go in there, take a bath. To my grandma, I'm not gonna get clean if I use the wash. And see, but I'm telling you, it's the loofah.
They ain't had that when I was growing up. Big mom used to tell you, go on and get that rag, boy. Go on and get that rag. Get behind the mirror.
But see, well, I can't do this today with you. I'm not gonna do this today with you. But I'm telling you.
But I agree though. You know the
it's
housing,
money.
The
it's
housing
money.
has went up. You know, tremendous. And what the biggest thing from the community standpoint is the housing market has went up, but not the pay. So
you got people over here on Facebook agreeing with you, talking about the washcloth.
Yeah, I know that's right.
Don't agree with him, Lisa. Don't agree with him. The loofah.
No, you take that rag and you throw it in the washing machine and you get you another one. But I agree. If you're going to raise the housing prices in our community, raise the pay.
Yeah.
$15 is not enough for minimum wage.
It's not.
You know, back in the day, 10, 12 years ago, you could get a decent apartment, a 2-bedroom for like $700.
Yes.
$700. You could get a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment for $700, $800. You know, if you had a $1,000 apartment, you was living like, you know,
Wheezy and George.
Yeah, right. You were tap dancing. But now you talking $1,800, $2,000 for an apartment on minimum wage of $15. People just can't survive. They got to pick their poison. So I'm saying, community leaders, the people who vote on things. If you're gonna allow rent not to be affordable in our community, please fight to raise the minimum wages so people can just afford to live.
And, you know, Governor, I just hate, I'm blaming, just like they blame everything on black people, I'm blaming everything on Governor Ron DeSantis. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it because he said...
called in yet?
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it because Governor Ron DeSantis says that he will not sign any Florida bills that says that the rent needs to be controlled. That if you can't pay the rent,
you gotta get out.
2 tears in a bucket. That's basically what he's saying. That's basically, but you know what? I'm not mad with Ron DeSantis because the only thing that he is doing when racism arises, what does it do? It makes us become more proactive.
We ain't gonna talk about Ron with the school.
Oh.
See, one thing about us on research and trying to be community activists and doing our news, we dig for information. We make phone calls, we Googling, we strategizing. And I don't know if we got enough time to get into this segment, but, we kind of find out how Ron DeSantis got kind of rich.
Yeah.
We got a chance to follow the money, how he got into having the money to run into politics. In the political game, even with our local officials, you see people usually win because their name is out there.
Right.
Before Ron DeSantis ran for governor, did you know who Ron DeSantis was?
Yeah.
So sometimes the money will help you get there. I'm trying to get the money so I can get there. Believe me, I want to run for political office. So, between now and about 2 years, I'm trying to campaign. I'm trying to be in the community. I'm trying to sell books. I'm speaking at universities. I'm trying to raise my funding up so that way when I run for the first ever formerly incarcerated taking over a political seat, I need to have my funding right. So I respect the game. I'm just taking the page out of the blue book, and I'm going to try to get that myself.
Let me tell you something, Walt. There's a young lady by the name of Sister Bakura Shabazz that's up in Virginia. She is a felon, former incarcerated, and she just received an honorary law degree from the state of Virginia. When I tell you, Walt, when I seen that video, I was screaming. And she had everybody cracking up because they put her up in a hotel and she said, look at this racist hotel with this crown molding. Boy, I lost my stomach. I was on the floor laughing. But see, Walt, it can be, it's being done in every other state but us. And it's the states of the South, of the deep South, that's really the ones that's, holding the reins and pulling the triggers behind this. I'm telling you, Ron DeSantis, I'm blaming you for everything. And Ron DeSantis, I'm so happy that former President Donald J. Trump, he lodged a complaint which shocked me and is shaking the core of the nation, that Ron DeSantis has collected more than $30 million in a presidential campaign fund, and he has not even formally announced that he's running for president in 2024. And I'm so happy that this white man is fighting with the other white man on this. I love to see white people fight. Oh my God.
If somebody want to pay me to run, 2 million, I'm throwing my name in the hat.
Whoa, 30 million bands.
I'll get right out there. But you know why I want to run, at least locally in our community? I gave in our first show 4 weeks ago, 34% of our community was arrested.
Yes.
We have 1.4, 1.5 million people. 34% of that population was arrested.
Yeah.
Who better to speak for that population than me?
Right.
All the people who have been arrested. Now, I never cared about the law. I never cared about the justice system. And I caught the DUI. I got in a fight. And I got arrested for the first time. And then you got a chance to see how ugly the system was. I want to be able to speak for that population. They need a voice. It's 2023. By the time I run, these people will have somebody who can speak up for them. They've been silenced for so long.
Well, I'm finna write former President Donald Trump and say, if it's anything that you want me to say on the Stay Woke show about Ron DeSantis, I'm gonna need for you and your team Trump to get. I like Trump. I supported Trump.
Okay.
I couldn't vote, but I supported him. I don't care. I'm a huge Republican. I was born and raised in a Republican household, and I'm not ashamed to say that I'm on the right side of the law and I'm on the right side of justice. And I'm always going to advocate for us. I wasn't born into a Republican household or raised in a Republican household where it was like, well, you know what? That's not us. We come from a wealthy household. And I do. I come from a very wealthy family. But we didn't use our wealth. My family, my great-grandfather, they owned slaves. My great-grandfather was one of the hugest, matter of fact, he was the number 3 leading tobacco farmer in the state of Florida. So I don't hide the fact that FAMU and Bethune-Cookman College, they bought the slave quarters that were on our land. I don't hide that. That's my history. That's my history. So I'm a part of this Florida history that Ron DeSantis is trying to erase. And I'm telling you right now, white boy, I'm going to stay woke. And your counterparts ain't gonna keep me asleep. I'm gonna get a hold of Donald. Watch what I say. You bet. Everybody mark my words on this 8th day of April 2023. Watch Michelle Williams. Watch Dr. Michelle Williams get Donald Trump on the phone. Watch I get him, because guess what? I got enough ranks in the Republican Party. And know some people that know some people that know some people. Hey, tell Trump, the little black lady down tell Ford I'm going to get him on the show.
Hey, tell him I got a book for him too, so he can read it on the plane.
Yeah, he need that.
Get out some of them charges.
Navigate through the criminal justice system. Walt lays it out, and we're going to get to this book. I cannot wait. We got, like, Walt is, we're both lining so many special guests to come in. And like Walt already gave a little spoiler alert, our special guest next week, man, I cannot wait to have her here. I cannot. You guys got to watch the show next week. I may need to talk to Mr. Johnson and say, hey, Pop, we want to go a little bit longer than an hour next week, because we want to make sure that we cover as much ground as possible. And remember, guys, another special treat. I'm going to be bringing on the Central Park 5 on the Stay Woke show. See, we just not talkers. We're movers and shakers, and we're movers and shakers for the criminal and social justice reform that the United States needed. Guys, that's our time with Stay Woke, and we want to thank you all so much for tuning in into another episode. And everybody, y'all help me get a hold of Donald Trump. I'm gonna make a post on Facebook. I'm going to make a post on Facebook, because, Facebook don't let my boy back on. I'm going to make a post on Facebook. I want Trump. I want Trump. I want Trump on this show. I want Trump on this show. And I'm not going to stop till I get it.
Let me also say, I want to wish everybody a happy Easter out there. For all the people who do know how to cook, y'all give me a shout out. Y'all.
Where's some oxtails? In Vero Beach, she said she got some oxtails.
Where to play that? Come on.
He's so greedy.
Where to play that?
He greedy.
Nobody out there cooking. Everybody going to Publix for Easter.
He greedy.
Come on, y'all stay woke.
He just greedy, guys. Thank you so much. We love you. Stay woke. Tune in next week for another great episode of Stay Woke with Dr. Michelle Williams and Walter Dunn III. We're your advocates and activists of justice. Thank you all so much. God bless. I am not going to stop until I get Trump on this show.
Listen up to Dr. Michelle Williams and Walter Dunn show. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke, stay woke, stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. You gotta stay woke, 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 stay woke. You gotta stay woke.
How did you and Mommy meet?
Yeah. Back in the days when we were young, I reminisce on before, but today we sit and listen with our kids again. Oh, yeah. If I had a time machine, I'd Michael J. Fox that thing and go back to when we first met, yeah. Before you walked up in the door, before we ever hit the floor, and you wouldn't give me time, 'cause I hadn't crossed your mind, oh. So I talk to you, ooh, paying me no
that Boys to Man, and you was on that jealousy there. We talked all night about the things we loved and who we'd be. And girl, it's funny now, but you sure made it hard on me. Ooh, paying me no attention when I'm closer to you. That's how it all began, but that's not where our story ends.